Yeah, good morning students. Let us continue our topic semiconductors. We discussed about the half wave and full wave rectifier. Now we will take two more problems regarding the half wave and full wave rectifiers. First take a problem. Number one. In a half wave rectifier, a PN junction diode uses a PN junction diode uses with internal uses a internal resistance of 20 ohm. If the load resistance of 2 kilo ohm is used in the circuit. Find the efficiency of half wave rectifier. Find the efficiency of half wave rectifier. The efficiency of half wave rectifier. First given data. Uses say internal resistance means let it be RF, forward resistance 20 ohm, and a load resistance which is represented by RL, that is equals to 2 kilo ohm. 2 kilo means is a 10 cube ohm. Now we write the formula for the efficiency of half wave rectifier. Efficiency eta, this letter is eta, is equals to, we have 0.406 into RL by RL plus RF. Eta equal to 0.406 into, what's the value of RL here? 2 into 10 cube by RL, 2 into 10 cube plus RF. What's the value of RF here? 20. You have to find the efficiency, so that which is multiplied by 100. It's multiplied by 100. It's a 40.6 into 10 to the power of minus 3. I am changing this decimal. Into 2 into 10 cube by, I can write here as 20 into 10 square. 2 into 10 cube. Here it is writing as 2 into 10 square plus 20 into 100. Plus 3 minus 3 gets cancelled, and 406 into 2 by, take 20 common, we have 100 plus 1 into 100. 2 tens, 10 tens. We have 406 into 10 by 101. By cancelling we get 40.2%. The efficiency of full wave rectifier is 40.2%. 40.2%. This is a problem based on half wave rectifier. You have to remember the formula. The efficiency is 0.406 into RL by RL plus RF. Now take a second problem based on full wave rectifier. A full wave PN junction diode. PN junction diode uses a load resistance of a load resistance of 1300 ohm. 1300 ohm. This is the symbol for ohm, omega. The internal resistance of each diode is 9 ohm. Each diode is 9 ohm. Find the efficiency of full wave rectifier. Find the efficiency of full wave rectifier, as FWR, full wave rectifier. So first we write the given data. Here they used a load resistance, means RL, that is equals to 1300 ohm, and an internal resistance of each diode is 9 ohm. Let it be RF is equals to 9 ohm. The efficiency, the formula for the efficiency of full wave rectifier is eta is equals to 0.812 into RL plus RF. This is the formula for the efficiency of full wave rectifier. Now substitute the values. 0.812 into, what is the value of RL here? 1300 by 1300 plus RF is equals to 9 ohms into 100. So efficiency eta is equals to, we can write it as 8.1812 into, change the decimal, into 10 to the power of minus 3, or we can write it as by 1000 into 1300 by 1309 into 100. These two zeros cancel, and we have 812 into 13 by 10 into 1309 into 100. 10 tens gets cancelled. 812 into 130 by 1309. By cancelling this, we get the value of efficiency of full wave rectifier as 80.6%. 80.6%. This is the efficiency of full wave rectifier. Efficiency of full wave rectifier. Now, our next topic is the transistors. What is a transistor? Transistor means transfer of resistance. Transistor means transfer of resistance. Transfer of resistance. In a substance or conductor, if the resistance is transferred, what happens? It acts as a fully conductor. It acts as a fully conductor. So, transfer of resistance means the resistance is transferred. So, these transistors was invented by J. Bardeen, W.H. Broughton, and William Shockley. They are invented in the year 1942, and they get the Nobel Prize in the year 1946. They get the Nobel Prize. They get the Nobel Prize in the year 1946. The invention of transistor made a revolutionary change in the field of electronics. Now we are using laptops, computers, phones, etc. Any electronic gadget. They are made based on these transistors. So these are the fathers of transistor: J. Bardeen, W.H. Broughton, and William Shockley. Now, what is a transistor? How it is formed? Transistor is a form. Two p-n junctions are joined back to back. Then we have two types of transistors. First one is PNP transistor, and second one is NPN transistor. we have two transistors. First one is the PNP transistor and next one is the NPN transistor. PNP and NPN transistors. PNP and NPN transistors. Next, this transistor, suppose if you take any transistor, let it be either PNP or NPN, whatever the transistor, either it is a PNP transistor or NPN transistor, whatever the transistor, it has a three terminals. Middle one is said to be base and left side is emitter and right side is collector. So transistor has a three terminals. Three terminals. Terminals of a transistor. Terminals. Number one, emitter. Number two, base, and number three, collector. Number three, collector. Emitter is represented by the letter E and base is by B and collector is by C. It is a small letters or capital letters, whatever it is. Emitter, base and collectors. These are all are terminals of a transistor, and we have two junctions. Here the junction between emitter and base is called emitter base junction. The junction between base and collector is called collector junction. We have two junctions. Junctions of a transistor. Junctions. Let it be, first one is the emitter junction. Emitter junction means, what is meant by an emitter junction? Emitter junction is equals to the junction between emitter and base. Junction between emitter and base. Next one is the collector junction. Collector junction. The junction between base and collector. Base and collector is called collector junction. So this transistor is also called three terminal bijunctional device. Bi means it's a two. The transistor is also called three terminal bijunctional device. Here we have three terminals. It is also called three terminal bijunctional device. Three terminal bijunctional device. So totally the transistor having three terminals and two junctions. The terminals of a transistor are emitter, base and collector, and the junctions are two junctions, emitter junction and the collector junction. Now what are the symbols for the transistor? Transistor symbols. In our IP we have 2 marks for transistor symbols, right? Draw the circuit symbols for the PNP and NPN transistors. Questions like this. Draw the circuit symbols for PNP and NPN transistor. PNP and NPN transistors, which have 2 marks. Your IP. Look at here. These are the three terminals. Let it be a base, emitter and collector. And next, this is like this. This is also base, emitter and collector. This is a PNP transistor and this is NPN transistor. Did you feel any difference between these two symbols? I think these are appears to be same. There is no change. Here it is emitter, base, collector, collector. No difference. What is the difference? Now we keep an arrow mark on emitter shoulder if it is inward direction, that is a PNP transistor. If it is outward direction, that is NPN transistor. That is the difference. We are keeping an arrow mark on emitter shoulder. If it is inward direction, that is a PNP. If it is in outward direction, means here it is outward direction. That is NPN. Inward direction, that is PNP. That is the difference here. This is a 2 marks question. I think it's a 10th question. Very short answers questions. Draw the circuit symbols for PNP and NPN transistors like this. Now, we discuss about the terminals of a transistor, how the terminals are there, what is there. Terminals of transistor. So number one, first one is the emitter. What about the emitter? Emitter is left side region, and heavily doped region, moderate in size. What it do? It emits the charge carriers. To the base. This is about the emitter. And next one is a base. Base is a middle region, and this is a lightly doped region, thin in size. This is about the base, and next one is the collector. Third one is collector. This is a right side region, moderately doped region, thick in size, and it collects the charge carriers from base. Collects the charge carriers from base. It collects the charge carriers from the base. Look at here. We are discussing about the terminals of a transistor, how the transistor terminals are there. Here the emitter, we can draw a diagram. This is if you take this one, you have to take a collector, which is a big region. This is a base, and this is emitter, and this is a collector. Emitter, this is a left side region. Doping is a heavy doping region. Size, it is a moderate in size. Base is a very lightly, and collector is a base is a very thin region, and collector is a very thick region, and emitter is a moderately doped region. So that the sizes are also there. Here it is. So next, base is a middle region, and it is a lightly doped, thin in size. Collector is a right side region, moderately doped, thick in size. What it do? It collects the charge carriers from the base. So whenever you want to draw a circuit, a transistor symbol, you have to keep the collector is a big thing, is a thicker one, and base is a lighter, and emitter is a moderate one. The partition should be like this. Collector is assumed to be a thick region, and base is a very thin region, and emitter is it's a moderate in size. That's it about the transistors. Next, transistor configurations, which carries a 4 marks in our IP. Just we have to write the diagrams. Transistor configurations. transistor configurations. We have three configurations. Number one is common base configuration. Next one is a common emitter configuration. And next one is a common collector configuration. We have three configurations. So common base configuration, common emitter configuration, and the common collector configuration. So just here we draw the diagrams for these transistors. First of all, we have look at about this common base configuration, CBC, common base configuration. Suppose if you take a PNP transistor, NPN transistor, whatever be the transistor. Suppose here I am taking NPN transistor like this. This is an NPN transistor, this is a base, and this is emitter, and this is a collector. NPN means the arrow mark which is on the emitter should be upward direction. Take like this. This is the terminals. Draw a line here, it is like this. This is the input region and this is the output region. In input and output region, the base is a common. For both input region and output region, the base is a common, so that it is called common base configuration. Means we are constructing a circuit by keeping base as a common for both input and output. So it is called common base configuration. We can draw another diagram also. So let it be a collector, and this is a base and this is emitter, like this. So this is a input region and this is a output region. For both input and output, base is a common. So this is called common base configuration. These two diagrams are for the common base configuration. And next for common emitter, how the circuit diagram changes for the common emitter configuration. Next one is a common emitter configuration. So emitter is a common. So I am drawing like this circuit. This is NPN transistor, this is emitter, and this is collector, and this is a base. Like this. Here it is the input region, and this is output region. Here the emitter is a common for both input and output. So we can write like this also. We can write. This is the emitter, this is base, and this is the collector. This is input region and this is output region. The emitter is a common for both input and output. This is a common emitter configuration. Next about common collector configuration. Common collector configuration, CCCC. Look at here. This is collector and this is the emitter, and we are keeping an arrow mark here like this. This is an NPN transistor. This is base. This is the input region and this is the output region. Here the collector is a common for both input and output. So this is called common collector configuration. I am drawing like this. Collector, base, and this is emitter. This is input region and this is output region. These three are the transistor configurations. Yeah, that's enough for today. Thank you students.